You're listening to All Things Queer on RTRFM, and my name is Harriet. And joining me in the studio now is Mickey Montellá, an androgynous singer-songwriter based in Australia who has featured in the Jackson Tribute Show, WA, and PSP events. And they join me now to discuss their latest release, Haunting Me. Hello, Mickey. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is a pleasure. Now, I want to jump in and ask, who is Mickey Montellá, the artist?
Who's Mickey Montellá, the artist? Well, I guess I'll start with a little bit of background about who I am. So I'm a singer-songwriter. I started really originally in musical theatre productions, so small to large-scale productions in WA, and that was a lot of fun. And then moving on to, I suppose, live showcase sort of tribute shows, so a lot of Prince, Bowie, the Jacksons, things like that. And great experience, heaps of fun connecting with some pretty amazing musicians along the way, which is a dream. And now, I feel like I'm really sort of taking a bit more of an independent route, and really sort of focusing on songwriting and producing. And truth be told, that's really where the juju is for me. Kind of working on my own stuff, so.
Do you think that's where it sort of comes from, especially with artists? Like, doing your cover bands and things like that is a really nice place to start, get yourself a bit of experience with like a live show and everything.
Yeah.
But then just the bug to write your own music just comes at you.
It was there.
Yep, it was there.
It was there, especially when, you've got these amazing iconic singers, right? Like, for example, Prince is one of my biggest inspirations. And what I liked about him so much was that he had this amazing ability to play with bisexuality on stage. And even though I'm a very proud gay man, it is sort of part of my stage persona to, sort of dip my toes in a little bit of both. And have I dipped my toes before? Yes, I have, and proud of it. So the cover stuff is great. It is really a lot of fun, but it does get to that point, depending on the music that you are tributing, you feel a little stifled, and you start disconnecting a little bit from the band, and things sort of eventually unfold in a way that it's no longer in alignment. And it's inevitable, I think, to eventually really want to follow your own path, which is original music.
Yeah, you have to step away before you hate the cover bands or the covers that you love so much, don't you?
Yeah, and I won't say what the music was, but it was getting to a point where I was just like, if I sing another one of these songs, I'm going to bitch out. I'm going to have to separate myself from, a lot of what's going on right now, just in order to find myself. And that's what pretty much happened. Yeah, a lot of respect for who I worked with. And I think we ended things on a mutual respectful level, which is good.
Good. And do you have any pre-show rituals that you swear by?
Pre-show rituals? So about an hour before I perform, or before I'm, really doing anything in terms of even promoing or anything like that, it's silence. Don't talk to me. I need to be in my bubble, kind of like just let me recenter and refocus. And that's really a ritual. Maybe a honey tea, just kind of refocusing and recentering and just sort of blocking out whatever that is that's going on in my mind, which is super from here to there, like a roller coaster. But yeah, just really sort of allowing that noise to calm down, because there's a lot of that noise in my mind.
Is that what it's like writing music as well? You've got to just quiet the noise and be like, okay, no distractions, it's coming out now.
That really depends. It depends on the song, and it depends on the theme, and it depends on what I'm writing about. Sometimes it can take 10 minutes, and sometimes if I'm going through something that was super traumatic, it can take a year. This song, Haunting Me, it's taken like 2 years to get to this point, just from the experience that birthed, this song. So yeah, very, very determined on the experience.
Speaking about haunting me, that is a bearing of your soul, and I always wonder, how do artists do that? How do you bare yourself for the world to see and to hear your experience?
Well, I suppose it's really about having moments like this where you can share a little bit of the background of it. So, I'm grateful to be here to do that. Haunting Me, it is quite an ominous song, yet there is a message of empowerment with it. There's one lyric in the song that says, "I need the freedom I deserve to claim. I'm not about to fall from sacred grace." So regardless of, the song's called Haunting Me, so it's very much depicts an individual who is feeling quite trapped, quite eclipsed by whatever that other individual's doing. There's hope, though, at the end of the line, and you don't have to fall from sacred grace, and you don't have to let that person turn you into something that that you're not. And I think a lot of people can relate, gay, straight, all the pronouns, they can all relate to being in a situation where you just can't escape it at one point, but you do eventually, and it's about grabbing onto that desire to be free.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. And do you find that for you, writing is about your personal experiences, or can you draw on maybe like an experience that hasn't happened to you? Or I always think it's so horrible that artists have to go through horrible things to make some of the best music.
Yeah.
But what has it been like for you? Have you found that has been your process as well?
For this particular song, yeah. I have written other music that I was drawing from different aspects of my life. Like there's one song that I've done called Dancing Through the Night, which was really just, it's a great bop, but it really didn't reflect on what I was going through. This is the very first track that has pierced me in a way that I hope that other people who are going through relationships, toxic relationships, and I know a lot of my girlfriends who are stuck right now in things that they feel like, well, there's nothing I can do. And I was like, well, there is, but you've got to get to that point. Just like I had to get to that point on my own. I'm not going to counsel you. You'll get there. Mm-hmm. You just got to take the time to get there and be kind to yourself while you're in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. And I think, like you said, it is all about flying and choosing your freedom when you're ready to, isn't it?
Absolutely. You do not have to fall from sacred grace. Mm-hmm. Not especially if that... Am I allowed to swear on here? Not really?
Oh, look, there's a little bit that's okay.
Okay. Well, I'll reframe. Not about, it's when it comes to someone who's a bit of a capital P, R-I-C-K, then, take that moment to recognize what's going on, and as soon as those red flags present themselves to you, that's when you really got to start making those small steps. And they don't need to know about it, but just start realizing that self-worth, as hard as that is, easier said than done, but you get to that point where you just can't breathe, and if you stay there, you don't know what your life is going to be. It can be pretty dark. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And bringing it, I suppose, into a bit of a lighter mood, you have mentioned a little bit about being a proud gay artist.
Yes, let's lift it up.
Yes. So what does that mean for you? Because I keep waiting for the day where we get to be like, okay, proud straight artist, like as if it doesn't matter that, you can just be a proud artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what does it mean to you to be a proud gay artist?
Being gay for me it's a huge part of who I am. I'm not someone that hides it. I will walk down the street flaunting it from coffee shop to coffee shop, store to store. I could care less. And, you do get people who just have a problem with it. I don't go to, I'm not, I'm not a drag queen,
isn't it?
It is. And the drag queen art, a lot of people come up to me and go, why don't you do drag? Why don't you do drag? You're so pretty. You've got such a soft, so many soft features. And I'm like, babe, I could kill it if I wanted to kill it. And I have so much respect for it. But just for me, it's my authentic truth is just being Mickey Montellá, as androgynous and feminine and if I want to wear a heel, I'll wear a heel. If I want to, do whatever I want, I'll do whatever I want. But I'm a gay man, and that's as far as it goes. And I want, my music to not necessarily represent I'm a gay man, but just it is who I am. I think the drag community in Perth is so supportive of gay culture. I would like to see a little bit of inclusion into people who gay men, gay artists who don't necessarily identify as drag, but they're just as much in that gay community as the rest of it. And there should be shows as well at Connections, at the Court, that showcase, young men or young women who aren't doing the drag queen, but are gay and they're artists and they've got genuine talent, original song. You can do a quick cute cover song. I've done a Baby One More Time, I've done a Purple Rain song. You can do your add little things in and add your original stuff in too. And I just think that at the moment, that pocket hasn't been created, and it would be great to be able to do that. Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, you have heard it here, and I agree with you. I would love to see like an artist night at Connections where we have local queer artists who get to put out their songs and give it to us. Like, I would be here for it. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cover songs are great. Mm-hmm. They're great. But original songs is, like I said, it's where the juju's at.
That is it. Speaking of, are we going to be working towards an album?
That is definitely in the future. I mean, this song was from an EP that I'm producing, and this particular song was produced, I was supported by SoundBaker Studios. I'm now getting into my own producing, and it's definitely going to be something that takes a little bit of time, and I'll release singles as they come and then combine them into one thing, but it's not going to stop. So, feel free to check it all out, and I hope people can, especially this particular song, I really do hope that individuals from all aspects can relate to this, to being haunted by something you feel unescaped from.
And if people want to keep up to date with Mickey Montellá, how can they do that?
They can totes do the Insta. I've just started a new TikTok. They can keep up on Facebook, YouTube, all that jazz, Spotify, the wax, or just stalk me. I love a good stalker moment.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It really has. You're so sweet.
Thank you. And now we are going to dive into a listen of Mickey Montella's Haunting Me, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Gave you, I bled for you in vain. Lethal power eclipsing my mind, trapped in disarray. Don't wanna be around, don't wanna hear a sound. I've got nothing left to give. Me in misery, your vicious ways of flaunting, like a nightmare haunting me. Your chivalry was wizardry. Your vile sins are daunting, like a nightmare haunting me. Cryptic language mixed with cruel devotion. Each game you played in spades. A shouted picture perfect deep dimension, diluted by your Milky Way. Oh, don't wanna be around, don't wanna hear a sound. I've got nothing left to give. You break now.